Hello guys. Welcome to my new movie recap channel, That Guy Recaps. Spoilers ahead, watch out. The movie begins with a boy called Jimmy who arrives at a mental hospital. The boy is doing manual work, where he find a friend called Harmon. The scene switches to their large sleeping room. Here we find a mental ill person who is tied up, so that he cannot disturb during night hours. Herman wakes his friend Jamie and takes him through an opening, to go and watch the beautiful night color blend on top of the roof. The scene later switches to the office of the head of the hospital, Dr. Houston, who gets into a quarrel with Dr. Handler. The main quarrel was caused by their illegal dealings of selling human organs with the American Society Agency, where the organs are from the mentally ill people in the hospital including children. That is very weird indeed. How could they do that? Jamie gets a friend called Tony who they played together well. At the time a mental hospital worker arrives and tell Jamie that one of his friend Jade is being taken by his parent. And that one time he would be taken away from the hospital. Jamie goes to see Jade being taken away by parents. He was feeling jealous as he wanted to be taken even him. Jamie then goes to a room where he finds a sister helping an epileptic child. The sister's name is Nanny. Jamie took an advantage and scrolls in the room and finds a girl named Angeli. He offers to feed him seeing food there. The girl is reluctant to anyone feeding her. This makes Sister Nanny gets surprised when she accepts Jamie to feed her. Jamie was amazed, not knowing how he could be the lucky one. Indeed, I am even shocked. Subscribe guys first. I will be thankful. We later see that Jamie cleaning a table full of blood, and cleaning also the items used there, where the doctor had come from doing an operation to a dead child. The next day, Jamie's uncle came to visit him. And hugs him, and tells him that he will take him soon after that his parents had accepted. The uncle came to the head of the mental hospital, Dr. Houston, to ask if he could take Jamie with him to America, but the doctor says that Jamie's parents had to consider it first. And that it would not be acceptable for him to take Jamie away. Brian was extremely perplexed with that. He agrees to the head. Brian goes to tell Jamie about what the head said. He promised him to do anything that he had to do in order to take him away from there. He gives him necklace so that he can keep remembering him all time. The scene switches to where Dr. Houston calls Dr. Handler and Sister Nanny and tells them that they require more body organs to be transported to the agency. He tells them that they have to make many children to die among the mental children so that they can sell the body organs. That is very inhuman to him. He says he will be the leader in that and commands that anyone who does not want to consider that will have to get fired and never see PME back there. The two people were afraid of the act but had to do what was asked. Dr. Houston says that they will have a company mate. He then introduces a new sister called Sister Madeline to them. The sister comes to treat the children. She is given the list of those children who are to be taken for their body organs. The sister takes it and he declares that he will do it after she's been given the drug that slows the heartbeat rate. And she will add into juices of the children. Jamie comes to talk to Angeli to know her mental state. Jamie finds that she had Frenitis disease and his parents brought him here before they died. Jamie is feeding Angeli where he sees Sister Madeline forcing Tony a full cup of the juice he makes. The next day 3 children are found dead including Tony who was Jim's best playing partner. Dr. Houston later told the doctor to write that they had high inflammation of the children's brain, so that they can cover up their illegal activities of selling the children's organs. I feel very sorry for the children. They are innocent. Why did the doctor do that? The mental hospital worker comes to question, how can 3 children suffer high inflammation of their brain disease at one time? How even can that happen? How? But he never took heed. When the children and Jamie was out in manual work, Angeli came to him and found him not working and called him lazy. They quarreled and later suffers her disease Frenitis. Angela become well came back and kissed Jamie at his chicks, thanking him for doing appropriate action, after he had fallen down. Sister Nanny came to Dr. Houston, and tells him that Dr. Handler is poisoning the children, but Dr. Houston never agreed to her. He said that the children are dying a normal death. And he considered that and that he will not agree to the sister at any cost. I feel sorry for the sister. Jamie later takes Angeli to the top of the roof and they start charting all about their childhood stories, and their different occurrences they get all along. Both of them become very open to each other. They discussed each other's dreams at one time, and that they want to achieve their dreams one time. Sister Nanny went to the father, and tells him what he has found on the children dying. The father tells him to continue staying in the hospital until they find a hard evidence to prove that out. The sister was reluctant and she just agreed. Tears of joy, more bodies start dying. The other children had no clue what was going on. Me and you only knows what is happening and the doctors. The doctor continues his treatments in the hospital. Jamie sees that the doctor has gone out, and when no one was seeing, Jimmy steals one of the keys that he forgot. Before Sister Madeline enters, Sister Madeline forces Angeli to drink the juices he made, but Angeli refuses. Jamie comes and asks if he could assist. But when Jimmy was about to give Angeli it, he falls the mug down. Later Sister Nanny enters, and Sister Madeline leaves, to make other juices for other children. When he comes back he found Angeli missing. Sister Madeline then later suspect Angeli to be in Sister Nanny's room. Sister Madeline then talks to Jamie and tells him that he was also like Angeli when she was at her young age. And now he grew up differently. Sister Madeline goes with Dr. Houston to confront Sister Nanny. Jamie goes to Sister Nanny's room, and takes Angeli with him outside the window. When Dr. Houston and Sister Madeline goes to conduct a search in Sister Nanny's room, they find Angeli is missing. Dr. Houston then warns Sister Nanny to stop interfering with his business work or she will get fired and that she will have no work to do ever. Jamie came out from the window with Angeli. He hugged Sister Nanny, who was surprised. The next day, when the children were playing, Jamie realizes that it's Julie's birthday. During nightfall he takes Julie to the lake show and took her on a ride on a boat. Jamie promised to take her to America when his uncle comes to take him. And that he would want to fulfill his promise at one time. The next day we find the Sister Madeline telling the head doctor that one child died during the night. As the body was taken to the laboratory, the friend of the dead child cried so much. A doctor tries to mourn with him. He was so furious that he pushed Dr. Handler and quarreled with them, with Dr. Handler stating that he could not prevent his friend from dying, and that he had planned it. He was later drugged to stop his commotion. Dr. Handler comes to quarrel with Dr. Houston about the story. Dr. Handler did not want to kill the innocent ones again. He was of guilt. We later find that Jamie is talking to Angeli and ask him about the escape that Jamie has planned. During their meals they hid food inside a bag, doing it under the tabletop, and Jamie stands up and make an address loudly, making them not concentrate what they are doing. And even he later bangs his plate and made other students to bang their plates. An alarm triggers, and they all started running to hide, while Jimmy and Julie remained inside the meal section waiting for others, who were running to take secure. Julie and Jimmy later find Sister Nanny, with Angeli together. Jamu then says he has found an opening, stating that it will be okay. They tried moving out of the opening, and were accompanied by an explosion which made Sister Nanny and Angeli to die. And Jolie got injured. They were buried the next day. And during the burial, Dr. Houston stated that both were very good people and that they shouldn't have died. Dr. Houston then talked with Jamie, telling him that he is sorry. Jamie was very angry with Dr. Houston and blamed him for causing their death and cried as Dr. Houston leaves him back. Jolie suffers a severe injury after the attack and was admitted in a room. Jamie comes to her and asks her if they are to escape, but Jolie says that he cannot come and gives Jamie some foodstuffs they had hidden. Jamie gives Jolie the necklace given by his uncle, and later planned on how he could flee during the night. Dr. Houston commands Dr. Handler to go and kill one child. And being a command, he had to be hard on Dr. Handler. Dr. Houston was very furious of what Dr. Handler said. As he was refusing to do the job and makes him do it. Who then requests Sister Madeline to help him to do the job. He was very afraid. The next scene shifts to the next morning, where Jolie wakes up and sees a bird on the window, noticing that Jamie had gone to America even though the mental hospital worker informs her. That is the end. Subscribe, like, and wait for more recaps.